Alrighty. So, where we are now, we have the best possible weapons available to us. So, you know, that's a thing. So we have the best possible summoning weapons. So I guess the next question I need to ask myself is if there's anything I really particularly care to do before we move on to the Moon Lord. Because, let's be honest, that's where we are. Hmm. So, for the most part, we've done pretty much everything. I'm kind of looking at achievements real quick to get kind of an idea of what we really have left to do. There's 17 achievements left in the game that I haven't done. So, some of these we can do. Some of these we really don't have the ability to do. Which is kind of curious. Okay, I know what we're gonna do. So we're gonna knock out some of these achievements. That's what we're gonna be doing today. And towards the end of the day, we're gonna actually go and reach towards beating the Moon Lord. So I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work on making the Terra Blade. So we got some stuff we got to do in order to do that. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our summoning nonsense. Okay, so what do I actually want to have equipped? That's the big question right now, is just what do I actually equip right now? So I'm thinking, I mean, I want... I mean, as much as I like Master Ninja Gear, I think that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out... we're gonna go figure this out. So let's go do that. So weapon-wise. So I need some things, some of which I might have, some of which I do not. So for example, one thing I know I do not have. Yep, people still play this game. Okay. One thing I know I do not have... That's titanium. gold. Yeah, I've just been doing other stuff. League kind of lost its appeal for me some time ago, which is a big part of why you haven't seen me. Let's see. Do I not have titanium anymore? Or not titanium, hollowed anymore. Did I spend all of my hollowed? I must have. Okay. So, if I spent all of my hollowed, I need to get hollowed bars back. Because I actually do need hollowed bars. Oh, right, because I spent them on the pumpkin move down here. Okay, that actually makes perfect sense. That's what happened. And I need more anyways. So we need to create summon items for the Twins Destroyer and Skeleton Prime. What do I need for those? How am I fixing for Souls of Light? I'm not. Great. Yeah, I just ended up having just other stuff to do, so I'm playing a lot of, like, a lot of Final Fantasy XIV is really where most of my time goes nowadays, in those terms. Do I need anything else? I'm gonna need lenses. Do I have lenses? I have lenses. I'm gonna need... I'm gonna have to go farm some stuff, as much as I hate to say that. Okay, these souls, those souls of fright. Those souls of light. Okay, we have to go farm some souls of light. I mean, realistically, if you're talking about... If you're talking about, like, the basic level sub, it's a $13 sub. And while that's nothing to sneeze at, $13 a month, but depending on how much you intend to put into the game in terms of time, I find that $13 a month very easily pays for itself. Okay, we're gonna go make a farming area right, like, there. Screw this goblin army, seriously. I could not be less interested in this goblin army. Okay, let's get digging. I mean, that's understandable. I think just really... Oh, congratulations on the kids. I think really, like, the big thing is just how much you're going to play. Because depending on how much you're going to play the game, you might actually end up saving money on other things because you end up, you know, playing 14 instead of playing other games. That's absolutely what it's ended up, you know, being for me at this point, is that, you know, I actually spend less money on gaming because of the amount of time I put into 14. Like, in general, I'm putting, you know, typically, like, 3 hours a day into 14. And I haven't been buying much in the way of other games recently. I'm going to be picking up Ori and the Will of the Wisps on Wednesday. And that actually, realistically, is the first game I'll have actually spent money on since... Like, to actually purchase since probably Pokemon came out. I'm trying to think if I've actually purchased a video game since Pokemon came out. Now, Heaven's Word's a ways back. There is a lot of content in the game that came out post Heaven's Word. You know, you're actually 2 different expansions back at that point. So there's kind of a lot to do. It's one of the reasons I love the game. Now, I say that as a person who I'm gradually getting done with all that content. Heaven's Word was not Samurai, so Samurai was Stormblood. So if you played with Samurai, you actually did play at least some of Stormblood. Yeah, so you're only technically 1 expansion behind, but you could be up to 3 years back with Stormblood. So it's kind of hard to say where you actually are. Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, being max cap, you know, with the latest expansion with Shadowbringers, I was max capped within 5 days of game release, and I know people who were level capped literally day of release. So being capped kind of doesn't mean much in terms of how much did you actually experience. And then if you really, you know, if you know 14, a lot of 14's end game experience doesn't actually come out until after the expansion's been out for a bit, because of how they do their patch schedules. Yeah, so you probably quit a year and a half ago, if I had to make a guess. Which, in terms of Stormblood's not bad. But, you know, really, I think that Shadowbringers, at the end of the day, is probably the best expansion we've seen. And that's saying a lot, because, like, Heaven's Word was really good. Stormblood was okay. It was not an amazing expansion. But Shadowbringers is fantastic in so many ways. I'm gonna laugh so hard if we get a Mimic. Yeah, the content's been fantastic, and I'm a really big, like, yes, actual content, but I'm a really big storyline person. And the storyline that they've come up with for Shadowbringers ended up being fantastic. And that was really what ended up exciting me about the expansions. They had a really good storyline that's still ongoing. And it's actually closing out, at least as far as we can tell, some aspects of the of some of the long-standing storylines, while now opening up, hey, this is where true end game's actually gonna be. Yep. It's really exciting. They're doing some great work. I really cannot wait to see what they're planning. And then in terms of actual gameplay content, you know, the latest trial, Ruby Weapon, is fantastic. It's got a really good difficulty mix. I hear good things about Savage Raids, even though I'm not a Savage Raider. I will say that the Nier Automata Alliance raid was fun the first time or two, but it really wore thin. But I'm really hoping the new Nier raids end up doing better. Yep, Ruby Weapon. And it's they did very well with it. Like, we were all curious how they were going to make it fit. And they actually did very well to make it fit the Final Fantasy XIV universe while still being true to its original incarnation. And it actually, you know, it's no joke of a fight. Like, if you know what you're doing, the fight's easy. But if you're not familiar with how the fight goes, the fight's definitely not a joke. You are actually making an effort to beat this boss. So definitely good stuff. I cannot recommend more, you know. to people who have not experienced the game yet, now is a wonderful time to join up and start playing. There's just so much, there's so much good that is, you know, going on at about this time in the game. How are we doing soul of light-wise? 40? Let me get to 50, because I'm going to be using a lot of souls of light. So they have Ruby Weapon now. It sounds like we're going to see several of the other weapons as time moves on. We're not really sure which of the weapons are actually realistic. But, you know, several of the other weapons are probably going to show up that we will have to defeat, and we'll continue to kind of up the ante there. And then what's really neat is just that it's that storyline. They're really starting to reach a point in the, story where things are starting to coalesce. We're starting to see that, you know, that end game concept is starting to show up. See, I want to do this, but this seems like a terrible idea. Okay, how are we looking? 45. We're almost where I want to be. Okay. That'll do it. Cool. So that will do. Oh my god, there was a mimic. It wasn't a hollowed mimic, but there actually was a mimic that showed up. That's cute. Okay. Oh, right. There's a goblin army. I don't want to deal with this. Can I just not deal with this? Game, will you allow me to do this? Yep, pleasant chatting. I'll probably see you another time. Soul of Night, Soul of Fright, Soul of Sight. Okay, so there's our Souls of Light. I got lead, which is also something I'm going to need for this process. Am I gonna have to deal with these guys? Like, are we doing this? Do I have to actually deal with this goblin army real quick? Like, let's not pretend that the goblin army is a threat, really. I'm not even bothering to turn on panic mode. %70 cleared. See, I just don't... Oh, hey. Where? Oh, there he is. Okay. Small threat. Small threat. I was actually going to go back to talk to the nurse right then. I am a little bit annoyed at how much damage these guys think they're allowed to do. Right. Because I took off my boots and such, and then took damage, was forced to descend. What is that? Shadow Flame Hex Doll. Interesting. That's really irritating. I don't like being spawn camped, especially when I have to wait 30 seconds to respawn. Like, I didn't even get to summon defenses. I really dislike that this game does that. Ugh. Like, come on. Leave me alone. Let me actually do my stuff. Just fine. Just let me respawn, please. Like, that's the punishment that I really dislike in this game. Is just the, you know, your opponent got a cheap shot in. Summon Shadow Flame tentacles to strike your foe. Huh. That's what I really dislike, is that your opponent, you know, they get a... What? Wait. I'm missing something. I'm missing an item. There's my... Oh, I would have been so upset if that went missing. But, you know, your opponent gets a cheap shot in. And all of a sudden, like, you're just dead. You don't get to do anything. Okay. Be nice to actually get the money to reforge those. Okay, let's, I would like for all these grave markers to just go away. Not ignoring the fact that I died, because I did, because I'm bad. But, geez, they're annoying to have exist. Okay, so we are, you know, we're doing a thing in order to do another thing. So I have to fight mechanical bosses. And I have to fight mechanical bosses in order to get holy armor. Or hallowed bars. Hallowed bars. And so that's kind of the goal for a minute. Excuse me? Can I target that? Cool. That's already targeted. Just by breaking these, when I, you know, reload the world, these will be gone. Okay. So we've done that. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and reactivate that, and we will resummon a start a cell. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is I really need to just fight a mechanical boss. No, not those. Trying to see, is there anything else I want to get rid of? Because I don't know how much of these I have, and I kind of want, you know, one of any given item. We're going to kind of gradually build that up. Why is there a squirrel in here? Okay, so what we are going to end up going to do then is we're going to go fight Skeleton Prime again. Which actually legitimately should end up being a fun time, I think. I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as, you know, originally. I've got 3 summons for Skeleton Prime. I'm going to use 2 of them, because I'm expecting it to go kind of that fast. And that's going to get us our hallowed bars, so I can make Excalibur. So that's going to be the first of the swords I need for the Terror Blade, is Excalibur. We have the Broken Hero Sword, which is fantastic. We already have that piece. God, I love when you get true, you know, examples in a video game of how far you've come in terms of, you know, power. And this is that example for this game. Because Skeletron Prime was not a pushover the first time I fought him. But now Skeletron Prime, you know, is being pushed over. Come on, you. Neat. Okay. So, that was what I needed there. It's not like a lot of stuff I actually need out of Skeletron Prime's bags. It's really the Soul of Fright we really care about. Mechanical battery piece we do not need. And that got me my hallowed bars, which is what I was looking for. So, with that done, we're going to go ahead and pop over here. And I'm going to make Excalibur. And the rest of the hallowed bars can go in here, because I don't need them right now. And I'm going to pop Souls of Light into here for the time being. Okay. So we have Excalibur. So let's go see what else I do and do not have. So, I also need... Let's see. Can I sort? Do I have any of the swords I need? That's one of the questions. I'm not seeing in here. I need to arrange stuff so I have an easier time finding things. We never did get the portable cement mixer, which really truly sucks. Okay, we do have the Muramasa. So we have the Muramasa and the Excalibur. I believe, yep, I did make the Blade of Grass. So we have the Blade of Grass. So, Excalibur, Blade of Grass, Muramasa. Do I have... Is this Lightsbane? So I have Lightsbane. So the only thing I'm not seeing is the Fiery Greatsword. Did I actually make a Fiery Greatsword? Doesn't look like it, so let's go ahead and go make that. I'm assuming I have 11 Hellstone bars. I need 20, and I don't have enough Hellstone. So, okay, that's all we have to go do, is we just have to go make some Hellstone bars. And then I do have a broken hero sword somewhere. You know what? I'm thinking on this. If I'm going to do this, let's also see what my fishing quest for the day is. Caught in underground tundra. I actually have the ability to do that. So one thing I might consider doing is, at some point in the near-ish future, starting to kind of go down the list of items that need to be acquired, and starting to work on getting all of those items that you look for. I mean, it's going to be a lot easier once we defeat the Moon Lord and we can get the excavation device or whatever it's called. And just start drilling through the earth. I want to know why the game is having such trouble here. Okay. So we just need to get some of this stuff, but I'm just gonna I'm gonna look for you know, some of the stuff on the surface. I'm not really going to bother with stuff not on the surface. If we do happen to see a guide voodoo doll, I am going to go for killing the Wall of Flesh, because we are missing some stuff off of Wall of Flesh. But I'm not going to put any particular effort into it.